Hey guys, it's Saru, and Swords of Legends Online has finally released. Finally. It's been so fun and already maxing out my character with Student 1 and finishing off my level 60 gear. It's been a blast, and even more so with my guild that we ended up calling We the Peepo. But all in all, I found a way to play this game and really most PC and console games that support keyboard and mouse in a true next generation fashion. So, let's get right into it. So before I begin, this entire video is sponsored by Azeron. Azeron is a cool company in Europe that has created one of the coolest gamepads that I've personally ever seen and experienced. Looking like an alien that's ready to pounce at you, the team over at Azeron contacted me and sent me one of these keypads, which has one of the coolest boxes, to be perfectly honest with you guys. The gamepad even had my name engraved in it as Saru, and usually this would cost roughly around $150, but thanks to the cool people over there, they wanted me to try it out for Swords of Legends Online. Now I did hesitate a little bit because gamepads aren't really my thing. I'm not really used to them. I've mostly used keyboard and mouse my entire life or a controller, but I figured that would be the next best thing and hopefully it would work really well with Swords of Legends Online. So I told them I'd be completely honest about them with Swords of Legends Online, whether it was a good take or not. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it does take quite a bit of time to get used to, set up and all that stuff basically. I spent some time adjusting each finger, each button, the length and distance between each finger, and stuff like that before finally diving into the software itself that you can download to adjust the keybinds, the throttling of the button, and finally being able to calibrate it entirely because, well, for me, like, I use my thumb a little bit differently. So I wasn't really sure how this would all go together. I did want to use the thumbstick as the WASD to see how that would work, and it seemed to go pretty well. But as I finally got everything ready, I transformed my UI in Swords of Legends Online to match my profile, which you can see right here, and the buttons. So each button had a designated thing to do. Sometimes I would remove something, maybe I would use an emote or something to kind of let me know what was being used here, and it would make it a little bit easier for me to know exactly what I was pressing. Now it took some getting used to. I only did this in one day, so with the movements, jumping, and well, Swords of Legends, there's a lot of things in the game, and I did have to use my keyboard here and there, of course, because it's an MMORPG. There is a lot to do, especially when you want to talk to somebody, but for movement and combat itself, I have to say this felt just right. It's very strange. But then the craziest thing happened. I decided to jump into a random dungeon. I figured I tried it already in the open world. I tried a little bit on the fighting sticks, I call them, which is really just the training dummies. I just kind of try them on there and see how that worked. And then I decided to go to a dungeon, so I went to Raging River's normal mode, and it did turn off players so I could get better frames just to see what that would be like. And it did take a little getting used to, especially with combos, being able to interrupt bosses or mobs in general, being able to dodge mechanics and stuff like that, but I pretty much got the handle of it, I think. So much and so that at the end of the match, I ended up being the only one alive in the dungeon itself, killing the boss with this amazing healer that we had at the actual time, and I wish I actually got their name and was able to actually add them. They're really, really cool, but I'm absolutely serious. I was the only one alive. I didn't even know what I was doing because I had my hand on here in this thing and it was really confusing, but like I said, I'm serious, and if you want to see full in action, here you go. So you can see that the stick, I guess you can call it, is being used as the WASD, so it would move my character around WASD, and I would have my mouse on the other hand, of course, to be the camera and the action movements and stuff like that. And the buttons that I did have pressing would resemble the UI like I said previously, so the 3 buttons on my pinky that I have plus the 4th one at the top are the buttons on the far left. And even though this was my first dungeon, just trying things out, getting used to jumping, dodging, after being used to keyboard for so long, and even so with muscle memory for Swords of Legends Online after playing alpha and beta, well, the rest was history. Here's pretty much the rest of the gameplay, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So a very special thanks to the team over at Azeron for sending me this fantastic device. It really is cool. I had a little bit of doubts. I have to say, the more that I got to use it and actually like get used to it, the more comfortable I was using it, and I'm still using it for combat and just movements in general. It just felt like a controller. I think it's far more precise, that's for sure. I did try it in Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance and Left 4 Dead 2, having to change profiles a little bit each time, and it did feel nice, especially since there's a button on the side that I could just change the profiles if I really wanted to, or I could just macro it in and put it on the keybind and actually change it so one of the buttons will actually change the profiles. But it was definitely really nice, and especially for Swords of Legends Online, it was a great choice. So if you're looking for a really cool, neat way to play MMORPGs, especially Swords of Legends Online, I definitely recommend the Azeron Gamepad. And even more so if you have problems with your wrist, like arthritis or something like that, it sits completely comfortably on the pad and you just enjoy the game like no other. It's really cool stuff and I commend them for it. It's on their website. If you're more interested about that, you can go in my description below. I have the website right there, or you can go to azeron.eu. So what do you guys think about this gamepad? And are you excited for the future of Swords of Legends Online? Because we just saw the roadmap not very long ago, and I'm so excited for the raid that's coming out later this month. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more about it in the comments below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and click that adorable f***ing bell to know when I upload a brand new video. And don't forget to come join my Discord if you want to chat and hang out. Much love, and as always, till next time, friends.